When you see animals being kind to their young, it's always an adorable sight. Watching the bond between a mother or father and their baby is sure to warm any heart, but just like humans, sometimes these animals can be terrible parents. In today's video, we're going to be showing you some clips of when animals really failed at parenting. Before we begin though, make sure to subscribe to Trend Loops and hit the bell icon for notifications. Now, let's get into it. Here we have a stork family sitting in their comfy nest when the mother unexpectedly throws one of her chicks out of the nest. Now, this baby stork might have been misbehaving, or perhaps the mother just felt like doing it out of spite. Most likely though, the mama bird was just acting on instinct. Sometimes, bird families will intentionally kill one of their offspring for survival. If a mother bird believes there aren't enough resources for the whole nest, she might kill one of the weaker chicks to give her other children a better chance of surviving. Back in 2015 at Hawaii National Park, a disastrous turn of events occurred for this hippopotamus and her baby, who was only about 2 days old when the mother introduced it to the rest of the group. Yes, including the really big hippos. This move quickly proved to be a mistake when the adults attacked the baby. While the mother hippo did try to shield her child from the attack, it sadly wasn't enough, and the little one was ripped apart by the older hippos. And to top it all off, a nearby crocodile ate the baby's remains. This cruel behavior might have been used to decrease the population of the herd. One theory is that the adults thought there was no space for the baby among them. We'll never really know why they went for the baby hippo, but what we do know is that it was pretty distressing to witness. When one thinks of bears, a big mama bear doing her best to protect her cubs usually comes to mind. For black bears, however, it's often the complete opposite. If a mother black bear thinks that one of her cubs is too sickly or weak, she doesn't think twice about killing it. For this family, it truly is survival of the fittest. If the cub is lucky enough to be strong and healthy, he can usually rely on his mother's protection. It's a tough world out there in the woods. Did you know that pigs can also attack their young? These piggies certainly look harmless enough at first glance, but sometimes they just lose it. Here we see a mother sow actually eating one of her piglets. One reason for her doing this could be that the piglet is just too sick to survive. Another reason is that the mama pig's childbirth was very painful, which could have caused the sow to show aggressive behavior towards her piglets. While some situations only involve bites, there are others that involve the mother literally chewing the piglet to death. We don't know about you, but this puts us right off our sausages. Birds are usually relatively caring parents to their babies. Of course, this isn't the case for all birds. Good example is the cuckoo bird, which lets its chicks fight each other to death. Usually it's the oldest and strongest chick that attacks its younger and weaker siblings. The cuckoo parents will sit back and watch this happen. This is another case of natural selection, but wow, that's some tough love right there. With their big ears and cute fluffy tails, rabbits have always been a firm favorite. Aside from being adorable, they can also be very nasty towards their children. They might look all innocent and cuddly, but they can sometimes neglect their children simply because there are just too many of them. After giving birth, the mama rabbit will frequently leave her children alone and return later in the day to feed them. After a month or even less, she completely abandons them and leaves the youngsters to survive on their own. This does help the baby rabbits in the long run because it decreases the chance that predators will find them. In some extreme cases though, the mother will actually eat her young, especially if they are weak. Can you imagine Peter Rabbit's mom doing this? Nope, we can't either. For panda lovers out there, you might find this next clip a bit disappointing, so brace yourselves. It's well known that pandas are one of the world's cutest creatures. They just roll around all day and sleep wherever they feel most comfortable. What a life! But in truth, pandas are actually pretty heartless when it comes to their offspring, especially if a set of twins are born. A mother panda usually only chooses one of the babies to look after, and after choosing, she then holds the chosen baby panda close to her chest to keep it warm and allow it to feed. The other cub that wasn't chosen is then left alone to die. In most zoos, they prevent this by putting one baby in an incubator and feeding it formula milk for a few hours. Then, they switch the other baby panda with the one in the incubator. In this way, both twins can take turns being nurtured by the mother. We guess mama pandas aren't that observant. The fish in this next clip also won't be winning Parent of the Year anytime soon. When a group of perch babies are born, their father does his normal job of protecting the eggs. He regularly circles them to prevent predators from eating the baby perches. When they eventually eventually hatch from their eggs, though, the good father act is dropped and quickly replaced with aggression. The father perch switches from being a good parent to becoming one that eats its young. Why do they suddenly become the worst dads? We might never find out. Tasmanian devils are probably the worst parents in the animal kingdom. With one of the strongest bites, they have the ability to eat anything, even making a light snack of bones. Amazingly, Tasmanian devils can give birth to up to 50 offspring at a time. Can you imagine that? Unfortunately, a female Tasmanian devil only has 4 teats, which makes it very difficult to feed the entire brood. Of those 50, usually only 4 will survive. It's probably a little unfair to have Tasmanian devils on this list, as they can hardly help what Mother Nature gave them. Lions, particularly females, are known to be very protective of their children, but these big cats are also known for their strict hierarchies. When the alpha, or the father of the pack, dies and gets replaced, the new one usually kills the cubs of the previous alpha lion, and the once loving female mother allows this to happen. The explanation is that once an alpha male dies or gets beaten, his genes and offspring are no longer the superior ones. It makes you look at the Lion King in a whole new way. In 2013, dolphin researchers finally witnessed the birth of a bottlenose dolphin, the most common species of the animal. This special moment was ruined when 2 male dolphins tried to kill the baby only 2 minutes after its birth. The baby dolphin was struggling to breathe as the 2 adults kept trying to drown it. The 2 would push the newborn down deeper into the ocean. Thankfully, the mother did her job well and brought the baby back up for air. This continued for almost an hour, and even when the 2 males finally stopped, they remained nearby. Luckily, the newborn dolphin survived the attack. That's one rough start to life. Another animal species that is known to be bad at parenting is the Darwin frog. It's no wonder that these frogs are endangered, because Darwin frogs abandon their offspring straight away after birth. Females usually lay around 40 eggs and leave the eggs completely alone right away afterwards. The male frog protects the eggs for the next 3 weeks, and before the eggs hatch, he will swallow about 15 of these eggs to keep them safe. That sounds like a good plan until the eggs finally hatch into froglets. The daddy frog eventually eats them, killing all 15 eggs in one go. Was he really that hungry? The last one on our list might come as a bit of a surprise to most of you watching. Horses, as it turns out, can also be appalling parents. After a mare gives birth to a foal, she then moves on to mate with the males around her. Sometimes the female horse leaves the baby for hours and returns at the end of the day. This must be horrible for the foal, but the mother actually has her reasons. She goes off to mate to stop her child from being attacked by the males. When you consider this fact, she is actually looking out for her baby, albeit in a rather odd way. So that's it for today's episode. Which animal do you think is the worst at parenting? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this episode, leave a like and share it with your friends and family. Also, subscribe to Trend Loops if you haven't already. You may also want to check out our other videos. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.